Yeah, so I came here to talk about SignAvatar. It's AI-generated sign language. And the reason why we're building is there are almost 500 million people who have no services in their native language. So who's foreign here? Who's not? Whose language is not English? Okay. In your country, you probably had the right to your native language, right? Well, not a single deaf person does. So only 0.000 of all services are in sign language, and for them that's their native language. And a message from our CMO is that if you have the right to services in your native language, well, deaf people should too. And that's our mission. That's what we want to change. We want to enable all services in sign language and to enable everyone to have access to their native language. And we're doing that with our sign language generation API. So it goes from speech or text into our cloud solution, Black Box Magic, and we give you a stream. So it's sign language to different languages and text. And it basically works like you give me speech or text, I give you sign language. Good trade, right? And it's a big opportunity on what we're building. I think it's massive. So you can use it in transport, which is what we're starting with. I'll tell you a little bit about it later. But it can be used in education, content, media, sports, learning and development, whatever you like. Where there's speech, there is a need for sign language. That's a quote from a deaf person. And our vision is to own a portion of generative AI space. And that's a big space. I'm sure all of you know that's right here. And this will probably be a long adoption game, but at some point, sign language services will be regulated. Like you have those wheelchair regulations, stuff like that, this will definitely be regulated. And the reason for that is that the technology could not have made this today. You see this one? Can you identify with this one? Stick figure, not so good. But this one actually captures nuances of sign language. It can help you identify as an avatar. And it's also diverse. It can be customizable. You can make it anything you like. Imagine, like, I don't know, maybe any game you would like to play. And we started with a simple product in transport, and I'll tell you a little bit why. And it's probably because we needed a product to sell until regulation kicks in, but we're going to move into those other verticals as well. And our first product, it's called Transport Sign. It's AI software that turns all the PA announcements on airports, train stations, similar, into sign language, and also gives you 2 different languages in text for foreign people or those who don't speak English or whatever. It can be streamed to your browser or to different screens around the airport. And it helps all passengers, like I mentioned, 2 different languages. It adapts to your phone's language, so if you're French, it will be in French. And we've been on Forbes. We had many deaf people talk about this. We've been really trending, but also like one of our prime things, 8 months in, the president of Serbia mentioned us when we opened on the Belgrade Central Station. It was a real honor. Not a lot of people get mentioned by the president. We do have some clients back in Serbia, where I'm from, but we're planning to move here. This is more of VC talk, but we have a lot of companies in the funnel. We had inquiries from big, let's say, sports groups and stuff like that. We did a couple of pilots with airports, and we're uniquely positioned because we're a team of both hearing individuals and deaf individuals. And one of the reasons why I started this is because my brother has hearing problems, and well, my co-founders are the biggest nerds you're probably going to meet. I can't guarantee that, but it's on that side. So we have AI researchers, data scientists, game dev enthusiasts, and we've been together for a long time. We built a company before this one. It was a software development company. Switched into this one. We've been recognized and backed by a lot, Google, NVIDIA, blah, 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 all those startup programs, which I'm glad that everybody recognizes this. And for the end, I'll put in some questions and to tell you that we're raising a seed round. It's 1.5 million on 9 million pre-money, and it's going to help us get into the next step, and that's education for young deaf kids. I'll leave you to some questions. Thank you.
We'll do 2 questions, and then we'll switch to.
Okay, this young gentleman.
Hi, I was curious about the use case on airports. Like, a lot of times even we can hear stuff, but we still miss announcements. How do you plan that people that actually cannot hear will actually know that there's an announcement going on and they need to turn on that app or whatever you.
Yeah, so it's not an app, it will be streamed to your browser, but it will, so what we do is we give the screens to airports, so in front of that screen where it says LA 3 p.m., we set another one that airport is gonna say, okay, look at this one if you're deaf or if you're foreign. And that's how everybody's gonna know that, so the airport will communicate that to its passengers. That's how everybody will get the announcement that they're supposed to.
Awesome. One more question? Go ahead.
Yes. What's the delay in the translation layer? Like, could you do this real time with AR, for example, with AR glasses? Could you?
Yeah, that could be the possibility, but we're not focusing on that. So there are many use cases for this technology, and since we can do both ways, so we're doing speech to sign language, there are different companies who do sign language to speech, okay?
Yeah.
Since we cannot go there, and that takes a lot of time to get that technology going, it'll probably take us 5 to 7 years to get to that. To get them all being in real time doesn't matter because we're focusing on stuff like announcements, content, and different verticals that are all, let's say, not in real time. And also, what I would like to mention is that we don't want to replace interpreters. There's so little of them. They have to be at your doctor's office, at court, at simple stuff. But we want to have them where you can't have them. We want to multiply them. So airports, content, stuff like that. Imagine how many millions of hours of content there is daily. So that's pretty much your answer. And like, if you wanted a quick answer, current delay is about 2.5 seconds.
Amazing. Round of applause.
Please connect with me or in front, whatever.
Great job.